I don't usually binge watch shows, mostly because I like the old weekly format, and even if something does drop all at once, I like having a bit of breathing space in between episodes so that I can fully digest what's happened. And that's how things usually go. Except for when The Boys came out. I was completely hooked from the very first episode that I think I crammed that first season into about a day and a half, maybe 2 days. I was just obsessed. And that's still the case now. From the individual character stories to the humor and also the violence. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not the most highbrow show out there. In fact, I still can't unsee that season 3 opener. If you know, you know. But with the 4th season having drawn to a close, I started to think a little bit more about why I find the show so engaging. And it's Homelander. And yes, that is the most obvious thing to say about this show. After all, this cynical version of Superman is the big draw, particularly in how he's portrayed by Anthony Starr, who just absolutely chews up the scenery in any scene that he's in. But I'm talking a bit more about what Homelander represents. And before I get into that, if you're interested in seeing more videos about storytelling in books, film, and TV, then why not hit that subscribe button while you're here. So back to Homelander. Even though he is a fascinating character, his very presence works as the perfect pacing device to keep the show's story moving along. Unlike a lot of TV shows, The Boys shows you its end game right from the first episode. It's all about taking down Homelander. Sure, the gang is bound to take down other superheroes along the way, but the finish line is always going to be about stopping Homelander. That in itself can help to steer the pacing of the show, as it lets the writers know exactly where the show needs to end up at all times. But there's a bit more to it than that. Because Homelander is godlike in his powers, he can kill any of the heroes at any time, but he chooses not to because even he understands that there are certain rules to play by, and if he goes around killing people willy-nilly, then he's going to lose the support and admiration of the people he's supposedly sworn to protect. However, as anyone who's watched the show can attest, Homelander has been slowly losing his grip on reality, one episode at a time. He's like a human jack-in-the-box, and once he loses his grip on reality completely, then it's game over. And that's perfect for amping up the tension of the show. It becomes less about simply taking down Homelander and more of a question of, can the boys stop him before he decides to drop all pretenses and go on a rampage? It's very similar to the buildup of tension in the movie Don't Look Up. Knowing that there's a meteor hurtling towards Earth means that the characters never get a chance to relax, and you can feel the tension just seeping out through the screen. It also makes the boys feel like a precursor to something like No Country for Old Men. In that story, the unstoppable evil of Anton Chigurh is already on a rampage, and he doesn't play by any rules, so it's not a case of how can the characters stop him, it's all about how long can they evade him before he finally catches them. All of this is just to say that I think that the jack-in-the-box style buildup of tension that Homelander brings to the table is very effective, and I cannot wait to see what the show does in its final season. But how do you feel about Homelander as a storytelling device? Do you have another theory? Well, let me know in the comments below, and above all, thank you for watching.